Hello once again everyone and welcome back to another vlog. It's been a fairly alright this week. I mean, I've pretty much finished doing my uni work. I did a little bit of my FYP on Monday, but I was pretty much just tried to reread through it, and I'm like, alright, there's one mistake there which I created, and I'm pretty sure the rest of it's okay, and I just polished my practical side of, because I wasn't happy with one of the dialogue stuff, and then I added in journal stuff, so that when you get one of my quests, it goes into a journal kind of entry deal, which is pretty awesome, and I'm happy with that. It was a lot easier than I thought it would be to actually implement that. I thought I would to script some crazy malarkey stuff, and it's just like, write this, go to this page, add the journal and entry in on this line of conversation. Easy enough. What was difficult was remembering my script stuff for it, because I was like, oh yeah, we've rewritten this, I have to use this script or whatever, and it's like, oh no, I have to put it here or use this bit of script and kind of deal. And you know, I'm not having touched it in a month. It's hard to remember what script you actually have written for it and what you named it particularly. Like, oh, that script looks like the right script, but it wasn't the right script because I was using a different name for things and didn't unlock things as the way it should have done, but I eventually solved it, so that was good. I just looked through the script and I'm like, oh yeah, it's this one instead of this one. I changed it when I rewrote this entire quest system using the tutorials and stuff, kind of deal. But other than that, it's been pretty much like done none of that, and it's been starting to write again for write stuff for my portfolio. If you remember, a few months ago I was writing The Night of Chivalry, and then I stopped. It was mainly because I no longer had the time to write. I love writing. It's probably one of the things I fully enjoy. And I'm getting back into writing now, and I have my off days and my on days, so I've written 3 chapters so far. Or 3 new chapters so far, and I'm going to start publishing again for The Night of Chivalry tomorrow, so you'll get chapter 13 tomorrow. It's difficult to get back into something, and I've probably gone in a different direction than what I was originally thinking of back 6 months ago when I was writing, 8 months ago when I was writing it. I knew what I wanted to do, where I was going to take myself, my character, and the story, how I was going to introduce other characters, but I have sort of gone, I can't quite remember. I knew I wanted to do in Battle or whatever it was, but I come up with this idea. I'm like, I like that idea. Let's stick with that and run with that, and introduced a few new characters, including the one I wanted to introduce, and we're slowly going to be learning more about this character as the chapters go on. It first appears in chapter 14, and then in 15 we learn a little bit more about said character. I was doing the weird zoom in, not focusing correctly. I don't know why. But yeah, it's good. It's good to get back into writing. I mean, I think I hit a limit of 2 hours ish for me to be just inspired to write, kind of deal. I'm writing. It's like it's all coming out, and then it hit the 2 hours still mark. I'm like, okay, just finish this, and then so maybe sort of the ideal might be if I go into full-time work and do 2-hour spots and then have a 10-15 minute break and then come back to it or something like that. Possibly. or I don't know, just try and push myself to want more and stuff, and I'll get the Night of Chivalry done, and then I'll go on to different projects to do with like getting more stuff for my portfolio and having someone else to write, that I can write to publish and stuff as the time goes on. But it's excellent. So in a link in my description, I'll link you to the Night of Chivalry. You can read that and catch up. I actually reread what I'd done, and I'm like, I did a couple of mistakes here, so I've learnt in the last 6 months, particularly because of my FYPs. I definitely should be proofreading my work, because though it sounds excellent in my mind, I don't always manage to get it across onto paper, and sometimes even if I do get it across on paper, I write phenomenally long sentences and sometimes phenomenally long paragraphs, which I would need a bit of more breaking up of full stops or commas, or just being grammatically correct and all that sort of stuff. And sometimes I write a word and I mean this word instead of this word, but to me, in my mind, because I'm dyslexic, that's the right word to use rather than this word. And then if I reread it, I'm like, oh, that's the wrong word to use, kind of deal, or I've spelled that wrong, or I've not done the punctuation quite correct, or like I was trying to get the sort of speech bubble marks, and I've pressed, because where the speech bubble marks are on the keyboard, it's 2, and then you have to press shift 2 to get the speech bubble marks, so it'd be 2 instead of shift, like I pressed, it comes out as 2 instead of the speech mark, because I didn't hold shift correctly or whatever, would do it, which is just annoying or whatever kind of deal, or not capitalised something or other, possibly. But yeah, getting back into that, it's exciting. Then hopefully I'll be able to finish at some point. I mean, it's going to take a while because of just like I'm literally like these chapters is the start of the kind of journey that I want to take in the Night of Chivalry. It's gonna go and stuff, and it's gonna challenge me. I want to try and get better and better at writing as I go along, kind of thing. And, you know, it's practicing that makes us a better writer, I think. Other than that, I went on the Unreal Developer Day on Thursday, which was interesting. And I went on the morning session because that's when the tickets were available. The afternoon one was all sold out. It was completely free for me to go on. I'm pretty sure if you wanted to go on one of these things, you probably would have to buy a ticket. But because we're a student and we're partnered with, well, because I'm a student and our university's partnered with Epic Games, we got some free tickets that we managed to like sign up for free, and it was really interesting. It makes me really want to get Unreal Engine 4 because it looks like it's a really powerful engine. It's pretty much, it's not the same as UDK, but I've been using UDK and it's like, oh, this bit's similar to UDK, but they've added all of this stuff in, and this stuff they've added in, like the blueprint system makes it a lot easier and a lot better to make games, and so, you know, use the same thing from, like, cause in UDK you have Kismet, and basically if you wanted to script a door opening and then in a different level have the same door, like another door opening, you have to copy and do all the nodes again and all that sort of stuff. But the speed reading system means that you just copy the blueprint and paste it into this new level, and it's just a lot simpler to get stuff from one level to another and keep it working the same as you wanted it to, or whatever. So that's pretty awesome. And so the UI is a lot nicer. You've got a lot more search functionality. And it's just great. Like seeing it, because originally I was just like, I'm not that bothered. I want to go and just be curious to see, and maybe meet some people, which I didn't do because I don't like talking to people. It's difficult for me to break that social barrier, but I was like, Connor, see what's this development is all about, and I was significantly learned more about what Unreal Engine 4 is and sort of their process of making levels and stuff. I was just like, well, this is really interesting and it looks like a really good engine. If I was going to set up my own game printing, I probably would use this engine just because it's pretty cheap. I think it's 20 quid a month for a subscription, and then if we wanted to publish a game, they take 5% of the revenue, which is like a really good deal. But if you wanted to make a game, you need an engine, you'll need Max, which is like $3,000 a license. You probably need Photoshop, which is a couple hundred quid. Modders might want ZBrush, another couple hundred quid, like I think they're 900 quid licenses. Scripter might want a specific set of tools, which I don't know how much they are, because I don't use scripting tools. And it's like, yeah, and if you have 4 or 5 artists, I mean, what, 4 times $3,000 is 12 grand. You're looking at like upwards of 20-30 grand to set up a small indie company with a couple of artists, a designer or two, and a scripter maybe. It's not cheap to set up an indie games company to make games. I mean, it's not cheap to make games. It's full stop. If you think it is, you're wrong. You just have to look at the characters. I mean, technically you could use something like Blender, which is a free program, but it's not as powerful as Max. It doesn't do its job as Max, texture-wise. Don't know any thing that would as good as Photoshop, to be honest. And for texturing, I mean, there's other tools like 3D Code and stuff that you could use potentially for texturing wise, but that's like, again, I'm not sure how much the license for that would cost. But yeah, so yeah, that was a really interesting bit. It makes me really want to get into UE4 and start learning. And the blueprint system really is what I would need to learn, because I know how to place objects in the engine, all that jazz, and maybe get myself a bit more knowledge in making materials, lighting, and just the blueprint system. So it would be good. But again, I don't know if I would want to do that, because I wouldn't be able to publish any games without the specific set of tools which I've mentioned, like Max and Photoshop, to make models to go in. Anything else that I can talk about? I don't think so, not this week. I think maybe next week, like on Monday, cause possibly, or Tuesday, because I'm going home next from next weekend. I'll go home Wednesday and have a long weekend at home, which is good. I might talk about Avatar: The Last Airbender, because I've not finished watching that yet, and I do really want to talk about Avatar: The Last Airbender, but I want to finish season 3, which I'm like, I think I'm 12 episodes in, and there's probably like 8 episodes left for that, so I'll probably finish that tonight. But yeah, I'll see you guys next time for another vlog, or for another video, whenever you choose to watch. Peace out, Girl Scouts.